You're listening to Off the Stage with your hosts, James Berry and Conor Michael, where we take musicians off the stage and into the pub to talk about the ins and outs of the music world.
Oh, that nearly syncs perfect.
Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Just the two of us. Just the two of us.
That might not make YouTube, but it might make one of our clips.
Yeah, you never know.
Hi guys, welcome to Off the Stage, where I am Conor Michael, this is James Berry, and we bring musicians off the stage and into the pub to talk about the ins and outs of the music world. And today's guest we have...
Nobody.
Yeah, so it's just me and James. But that's quite cool, because we get to just have a little...
Yeah, I mean, it's probably...
pod chat.
It's probably a blessing in disguise, to be honest, because this week, I mean, it's already happened now, but this week we've got the
Stage Fest.
the Off the Stage Fest to plan. So it's all guns blazing, so to say. I'll turn on here because I feel I'm talking to the camera, but not you.
Yeah, but that's who we're talking to. It's all good.
So this is it'd be classed as a special episode. Okay.
What are you drinking, James?
Oh well, I'll tell you what. You try it first.
I don't know. It's a sour, obviously.
Yeah, naturally.
Oh, it's an interesting one. It's quite refreshing, this.
It's very refreshing. It's
Is it apple?
no, it's fruit salad chew. You know those sweets you get. It's like it's supposed to represent one of them.
It's a great shout.
By Twice Brewed.
We don't advertise this frequently as we used to at the beginning when we started this, but get yourself down to the Ship Isis in Sunderland. They do a great range of ales and beverages, and it changes pretty much weekly.
Yeah, Twice Brewed.
I feel really bunged up because I've just died of hay fever all day.
Oh, I bet you've been mowing the lawn and shit, haven't you?
I was dying when I woke up, let alone doing the grass. Doing that means I've got like a full-on white vest now.
Oh, I saw you thinking like, what the hell have you been up to? Just like...
Dug out a small portion of the garden, put some Do you know how expensive stones are?
Very expensive.
Oh, I thought I'd get a few bags of them. $5.99 a pack. I get 3 packs.
Free from
and
the
I
beach.
got there and went, that's why I need more than 3. Went back, bought another 6. Filled it. I went, it'll do for now. Probably need another 6. Fuck.
Remember, like, cause I remember when I was first.
I don't like being an adult.
This is turning into a gardening podcast, but
That's cool.
I remember it was when I first got my house, and it was like the first time we had like a proper garden. We're like, oh, what the hell do I do here? I was in B&Q thinking, oh, what do I get to? I was looking like luckily we've already got stones, but I was looking at like slabs. You know that because we've got like basically our garden. We've got like the main bit just when you open the door.
Yeah.
Then you've got like a sea of stones, and then you've got like a decking.
Cool.
Like it's like quite a long thing. So I was like, I need some stepping stones to get from A to B. Flipping like 15 quid a flipping stepping stone.
Oh,
It was
no.
quite a
When
lot
the
you
Home
need.
Bargains was a tenner a stepping stone.
I ended up getting rubber stepping stones.
Still a tenner. They're the same price as the
Yeah.
actual stones.
But they were easier to lay and they didn't hurt my hands when
They
I was
were a
trying
bit
to lift them.
lighter. Yeah. I could talk about gardening for ages because I'm trying to get into it now. I'm 29 next month, James.
Well,
I'm getting into that gardening phase.
I've never been like an avid gardener. Basically, I've tried having plants and stuff like that. Just kind of grow them. Like I just forget about
Grow
them.
themselves, you know.
I know, but I forget about them and I don't water them, and then they end up dying. So I've just like I painted the decking and I painted the fence, and that's about it. And
I try to paint my fence.
you know what? It's really hard work. You know, like
I can imagine. I struggled.
It's the upper core of your biceps. I mean, I've not got great biceps to begin with, but like the upper core is just it absolutely killed us because they killed you the first thing, and then you realise you've got to do a second
coat.
second coat, and you're like, oh god.
Oh, I'm dreading doing the back garden. You obviously it's quite a big size garden itself.
Honestly, I've seen it.
But I've got to dig it out, put patio down, and it's
Do you know what's really expensive?
patio.
Fence.
Yeah, I know. £30 for like something that much.
Oh well, we paid a small. I'm sure I paid like
Small mortgage.
I'm paying like 600 quid because our like last winter during the great storms, like our fence just it was knackered anyway. It was like on its last legs, but that was just like the final thing. And the fence came down, and like next door neighbour's brick wall came down as well. But it was like I was like £600 for like a full fence, and that was halfies with the neighbour.
Yeah.
It's like Jesus. And we had the other neighbour going, "Oh, I'm surprised you got a fence. I would have got brick." I was like, "Well, if I could afford brick, I'd fucking buy brick, wouldn't I?"
Oh, some people are brick.
Yeah.
What's the last originals gig you did? You had one not long ago, didn't you?
The last one was at the Vaux Brewery.
How'd that go?
It went very well. I very much enjoyed it.
Ironically, if it was later in the evening, I would have been able to attend it.
Yeah, it was that thing where, like, I mean, I put it on because I know my mate's been wanting to come see us, and it's hard getting us 35-year-olds out past 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
So I wanted to put on an afternoon gig. I figured it's going to be summer. The one thing I missed was the fact I booked it, and I didn't realise the FA Cup final was on the same day, at the same time.
Yeah.
And I kind of like I was kind of I
I'm
should
sure
have
it was bigger than Manchester.
I should have booked it like a couple of weeks, but I assumed the season was over. But apart from that, yeah, it's just all my friends came down. It was just a good fun
To
atmosphere.
be fair, Sam Fender sold out St James's Park when the Champions League final was on, so it can be done.
Yeah, that's true.
Just some people aren't putting the effort in, James. I think that's what the problem is.
That's it. But no, I mean, it seemed like, because it's not a big place. It's a nice venue, the Vaux Brewery. It's quite new. I'm sure they've only been going about a year, like as a tap room, and they want to get more gigs and stuff like that. But it's a nice little size. I managed to get all the seats all filled. It was a free gig. I mean, I wasn't expecting to get money or anything like that. I wanted people just to have a nice little afternoon, and I thought, I thought it went well. People seem to enjoy it. I always got the same reaction because I was purposely trying to miss out the song "Sink the Ship." You know, that's the popular song that people seem to like.
Why would you try and miss it out?
And eventually, I wanted to have a full set because I do that solo. The band kind of leaves, and I do that solo, and I wanted to just keep the band.
A full band set.
Yeah. But I did something a bit different this time. I'm going to keep incorporating it. I brought the banjo.
Make it a bit more folk.
Yeah, so because everyone's seen the rock side of the folk rock band, but it's been the plan all along to incorporate more folky stuff on top of that. So I kind of halfway through, I included, it was like 3 or 4 folk tunes. The drummer picked up the guitar, I picked up the banjo, the bassist kept on the bass. But
So no percussion, or do you have like a little stomp box when
he
you
had
do
a
folk?
he basically, the guitarist, the drummer Vince, was just sat down at the drum kit. So he had kick drum, and he had a little
The hi-hat.
the hi-hat, but he attached like a tambourine. It was like a tambourine attachment, so it sounded
cool.
Sounded quite cool. Like, no, yeah, it was that was good. I realised as well, obviously, like, you know, I'm like a huge like Dylan fan, and I realised that's exactly what Bob Dylan used to do at his gigs.
All right.
He used to do half, because he always had like he went electric, and he like betrayed the folk things. He wanted to do more pop stuff. So what he used to do is he used to do the first half. People used to go see him to do the first half of his show, just him with an acoustic guitar, all of his old stuff. People used to like obviously love it and that. And then he'd come on, he'd like take a break. He'd come on at half time with the full band, doing all like the rock and roll kind of stuff. People used to boo him.
Wow. That didn't happen at your gig, did it?
No, I didn't have a mic.
Did you get many people turn up then?
Yeah, there was quite a few. There was quite a few people. There was quite a few like people I've never met before either, which I'm assuming, which I was banking on, where it's just people just coming out for a drink and thinking, oh, there's some live music there. I'm going to check that out, which is exactly what I wanted.
Yeah.
I wanted it specifically to advertise the song No Regrets that was supposed to be out on the Friday, but then Ditto Music decided, no, it's not out on the Friday. It's out on the Thursday.
I was meant to have my Little Buildings live album out today, but Ditto Music went, no.
See, I don't understand, because what was the problem with that?
Something to do with the sound quality or something like that. I don't know.
Because I checked my things, and it's all like, each song's like 90 megabytes, like WAV.
The recording quality of one or more songs on your release are too low to be accepted by digital musical stores. So I blame you, James, because you mixed and mastered it.
Well, to be fair, right, I only got the MP3s. So it's really hard to kind of you get the MP3. It's like terrible quality to begin with. I try to give it as much of it oomph as possible. That's
all right.
strange. That
It is what it is. At the end of the day, I don't think it was the best recording. Anyway,
I think I'm going to release. I think I'm going to release try and release the bunker when we did the bunker. I've got a few decent recordings there.
yeah.
Try and release that as a live album.
You having a bit tired there?
No,
Yawn.
honestly, it's gas. It's a burp. I'm getting.
Sound like a yawn.
Yeah, no. It's
There's people listening to this podcast who've just yawned and went, for fuck's sake, James.
yeah. Sorry about that.
I'm not being rude. I've got my phone out just because when you went down to get a drink, I made a little Insta story if they've got any questions for, and also stream the playlist that we have.
Oh yeah,
We've had no questions.
never mind. Well, technically, we've got questions from the last time we did a podcast, haven't we? So
We do. They're in part 2.
right, so okay.
Obviously, we gigged the Points on Friday.
Yes,
Hold on, I'll let you adjust your wires.
That's all right. Yeah,
Cool. We did the Points on Friday.
Yeah,
it was the first Sam Fender after party.
Yeah.
Now, for those who don't know the difference between the Points and the Vaux Brewery kind of gigs, it's like an Irish bar. We're paid to go and do popular covers, preferably Irish to country stuff. Yeah. So we were happy to do that. We always do that. I do that every Friday. Obviously, it was a big Sam Fender after party. Mm-hmm. So I was like, right, here's one of your songs. Play 17 Gun Under. Everybody loved it. Everybody stuck around. We went back to the Irish stuff. Occasionally we put the pop songs in, but Jerry Cinnamon and that. But we had a different idea of, it's going to be busy. Promote the hell out of your song.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
How do you think that went?
It went well. Yeah, because I wasn't planning on doing anything, but you were like, I'm gonna sing one of your songs. Mm-hmm. I was like, all right then, full crowd. Yeah, people bopping along. They seem to like it.
I think how many QR codes did you bring along?
I couldn't count them, but there was probably about 50. It wasn't.
And there was none left by the end of it.
Yeah.
They were just gone.
Yeah,
Take them. You see them passing around as well.
So that's a good QR code. I printed it off on a regular printer, just a big thing, just my name with the name of the song. I just linked it to the link tree. Dead easy. Not that there's any signal in there.
Yeah, that's the only downside of the Points.
Yeah,
was the signal.
But you kind of hope
fantastic venue, fantastic gig.
Yeah, you kind of hope that it would at least be saved and access afterwards. And then people waking up with the hangovers going, what the fuck is this shit?
Yeah. Next time I have a song to release, I'm going to do that at Filthy's. Just be like, right, guys. So every gig, just play it. I think the QR code, I kind of use you as a guinea pig, to be fair.
Honestly, it's a really good. I'm
really well.
I'm gonna start getting more, because they're not expensive. Just getting like little business card things with the QR codes on them, like 15 quid for 200 or something, stuff like that from Vistaprint. So it's a good little, because everyone loves grabbing
free stuff.
Free stuff anyway.
How it is.
Yeah.
But I think it went well. Like I say, people would dance along. I was planning to play it with you, but I was like, I can't learn the chords this minute. So I went drum.
I'll tell you what, the drum had more of an impact.
Yeah.
Because it
made it feel more full
at that beat.
And I've heard the song plenty of times. I knew where the harmonies were.
Yeah.
I got this one.
I noticed that. I was like, hey.
Yeah. I might be the last one to listen to your song, but I was the first one to play it.
Tell you what, I had it's not necessarily a surreal moment, but you know when like Rich always says, "Oh, I hate hearing myself on like."
Yeah.
Like I hate when I'm being mentioned on the podcast.
Sorry, Rich.
Yeah, sorry. I had that the day I was listening to Spark FM because Shannon was on. Because I'm in the band with Shannon playing guitar.
Yeah.
Major imposter syndrome because I'm trying to copy John Timney's guitar solos. And I just realised I've just been blagging lead guitar the past 5 years. Like, I haven't a fucking clue what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But she mentioned, she was like, oh yeah, I've got James Berry. And the person was like, oh yeah, I like his Espresso Martini song. I was like, hey, good.
It gets along, doesn't it? Yeah. I had your Espresso Martini song was in my playlist when I did the end of my tour. I don't know why I thought of this at the last. But last minute we got there, we sound checked and I went, I should do a Spotify playlist for when people are in the crowd, because they're just going to play like whatever they want in the background. It needs to be, well, this is the kind of music you listen to now. This is the kind of music you'll get to. So I was going to put like a playlist of like influencers and like people I know and stuff. So I had like Ed Sheeran and Ollie Murs, and so I put you and Scott and Stevie in there. I was like, oh. I had originally thought this would be a great idea for the entire night in between acts. Yeah. I didn't have it done in time until the end of this last support act. So I was like, right, I got 15 minutes. It's basically like 4 songs. So I managed to cut all them out. I had Ollie Murs, Scott, then yourself. I think I put Ed Sheeran. And I came on to the Ollie Murs song. I went to play, and then there was no sound came out. And I was like, great, this is a great hype. And I went back off stage, said, play another one. I started playing Ed Sheeran for you, and he put Perfect. I was like, that's not exactly a hype up song.
Yeah, you wanted some.
But anyway, we're fixing the problem. Everything's tuned up. Everything's batteried. Like all the wireless stuff's connected. Go back on stage, still nothing. Try to play about with the loop pedal, and I just do that, and the sound comes through. And my jack cable from the loop to the DI box is just always not happening. Yeah. So I'm there on stage going, has anybody brought a jack lead to the gig? I'd very much like a spare one, please. Stood on stage for about half an hour's dramatic, for about 5 minutes, which feels like half an hour.
Yeah, it does. When you're just sitting there in silence
to come by with a spare jack,
and everyone's just looking at you, and you just feel like a complete wally.
This is the end of the tour, and this is how it ends. Yeah. Right. Final question before we go into our break. At HMV Metro Centre, the last special we did.
Yeah.
I came up with an idea, and it would be kind of cool to trial this between the two of us before we get a guest on.
I'm sure you mentioned this idea, and I completely
forgot
it.
Up and Personal.
Okay. I'm sure you've mentioned this. I can't remember what it was, so you might as well.
Yeah. What's the most personal song you've written / released, and what's it about? The questions.
She like most personal song. I don't know. Usually my personal songs are cryptic because I want to tell people how I'm feeling, but I don't want them to know how I'm feeling.
Well, today you're going to tell them.
I don't know. Because I usually write like fucking shit songs about pencils and shit. Most personal song. So your most personal song, and why is it?
What is it about? I'm sure my most personal one's in my first EP. I'm just going to go and double check them.
Because I don't... Honestly, like... That's a tough one. Because a lot of the songs I kind of write in, like... Because I'm a bit of a boring bastard. Like, I don't have much going on for us, so I have to make up scenarios in my head when I write songs.
Okay.
I have to, like, put myself in someone else's shoes to see how would they feel.
Yeah.
I tell you my but the most personal one is that I can remember off the top of my head now is the I'm Fine, I Promise.
Okay.
This is because it's about lockdown. It's been in like a bit of a shit headspace because it was the thing where I was just like it knocked us up a little bit actually because I was I felt like I was on top of the world because I just started getting into the original stuff. It's like back end of 2019, and I felt I was doing a few like acoustic gigs and stuff like that, and people were like really loving it. I was like, this is like flipping mint. Obviously, I was part of Red Wings. We're doing like just
gig
gigs
after gig.
Yeah, it felt unstoppable. Like I felt I was one of the most like highly paid gigging musicians in the Northeast at the time. Yeah, I probably wasn't, but that's how I felt. And then everything came crashing down, and it was like, I remember applying for a few, you had them stupid, like when the lockdown happened, and then you had these like live stream gigs.
Yeah.
I remember keep applying for them, and just like, people just weren't interested. And that was just like, Christ, it was like a really like hit with the ego, I was like, shit, maybe I'm not
They
anything.
were horrible. I think I did a few. But you got to the point where you were like, somebody's just put this on the phone, put you on mute, and put you aside to say, look, I've given you a view. Like I got to the point of, because I'm not playing to an audience.
Yeah.
Felt like people didn't care enough. But yeah, they were tough times lockdown.
I did one of them, and I wasn't really feeling it. But there was ones that were like really popular that obviously Scott was doing, and I'm sure you did a few as well. That at first were getting loads of views, and I was invited to do it. This is the thing. We had a private message thing. I was invited specifically to do it, and then I was just ghosted. And I was just like, because once more people figured out about it and they wanted to be a part of it, I was just kind of like pushed aside, and it absolutely killed us.
Yeah.
So that's one of the songs I kind of wrote about, which was just like, it's about being shit, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, that probably is that one. Do I ask you the same question? Was that?
If you want, mine are very, very depressing, my songs. Obviously,
Yeah, I know they are.
Especially when they first started. Because I've got a few on, obviously, the album itself. Lost in Space isn't a depressing one, but originally Lost in Space is about... I went down for like dinner once, and my mum was talking about, my friend's daughter's just been signed and Sam Fender's out doing this, and it felt like everybody was taken off, and I was just kind of like left behind, like, cool. So it's like shot for the stars, but I fell hard watching the others fly away, kind of thing. That was the lyric. I think the most personal one, and we have to go through these because we're setting a precedent for future episodes.
Yeah, we'll have to brief people before answering this, because it's always really awkward when you're like, ooh, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't even play this song anymore, but the first EP I did was called 4 Years Later.
Yeah.
And the last song on it is called Message in a Bottle, which isn't a Police song.
Yeah.
Very, very opposite to a Police song. And years ago, I went through a situation where there was a very early teenage, late teenage pregnancy kind of thing. And everything was going fine until last minute, sort of 18, 19 weeks down the line, the lady was like, I don't fancy this anymore, and went through.
The deed.
Yeah. And it was one of them, it got to the due date that was meant to take place, and my friends were like, you should just try and find some form of closure to it. And we looked for like Chinese lanterns and stuff, and they weren't available. So instead, we thought, right, we'll write a message, put it in a bottle, put it in the ocean.
It's quite symbolic.
And it was absolutely thunder, lightning, slashing down. So the entire song is about being in a storm, sending a message in a bottle kind of thing. And it was quite...
Yeah, that is...
Quite a poetic day, to be fair.
It's quite a therapeutic thing to do, actually, as well.
But yeah, and then, ironically, 4 years later is when I'd finally got into music and had the EP released, and my first singles were coming out. Hence the title, 4 years later.
Yeah, makes sense, yeah.
But yeah, so I think that's my most personal one. It's difficult to write more personal ones since, because like not a lot of bad shit happens now.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm tied down in a relationship. I can't exactly write about breakups anymore.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, the other one I would have said was sink the ship, but nobody's allowed to know what that's about.
Okay.
I'm deliberately keeping it. That's me Bob Dylan song.
Yeah.
He never explains his songs. You've got to guess.
Cool.
So it's that one.
I like that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a very high ending to part one. See you in part two.
I'm gonna do. Hang on. See you in a bit.
Yeah.
Off the Stage podcast. I love it. Go listen. It's fantastic.
We're back, baby!
And welcome back to side 2, where we've got questions that was gonna be for our guest, but now it's for both of us, I guess.
Yeah, so these were meant to be for Jen Dixon.
Yes.
Excuse me, which was meant to be last weekend, but she had to pull out. I can't remember what it was for.
So just wasn't feeling very well.
Yeah. I don't think any of these are specific to her. We can get away with answering some questions.
I think.
Basically, what we did a few weeks ago, we did a HMV Metro Centre live and local special. And they had, like, Jeff Mull and a few other acts were playing at the Metro Centre to kind of promote Metro Centre. Yeah. How many times can you say that in a minute? Yeah. Metro Centre. Get off the Metro Centre! So, yeah, we did that as a kind of a special. Jem wasn't able to make last week. We couldn't get a last-minute replacement, but we thought, we got the episode in the bag. That'll do.
Yeah.
So what we do now, we get all the guests to ask a question for the next person. And Mason from HMV Gateshead asked, when are you going to play in the shop?
You know what? I've never actually played HMV Gateshead.
This was for Jen. I think this is the only specific one, to be fair.
However, I mean, that could be a specific for me, couldn't it, really?
When are you going to play in the shop? When do you fancy doing a HMV kind of tour thing?
I'll ask him. You know what? I'd like to get the summer out the way. I don't know why.
That's a song title.
I'd
like to get the summer out the way.
It's the song of the winter.
Yeah.
You never hear that?
Oh, there's a Christmas single right there.
Yeah. I'd like to get the summer out the way. But yeah, I'd like to get the summer out the way. Now, I don't know. I do a thing where I think, oh yeah, I'd say like, for example, I'll look at August.
Yeah.
And you think August is ages away, but it's really not.
Nah, it's like 8 weeks.
Yeah. 8 weeks. That's just like, it's nothing. So yeah, I'd tell you what, I'd probably do like see if I could get there like Christmas time or something. When it's getting a bit busier.
So they've got an issue with sound.
Oh, it's fine. I've only got me a little.
So it'll be a solo, I think.
What I used? Oh yeah, no. The plan would have been solo because I couldn't imagine trying to get flipping drums and stuff. I don't know how Jeff Mull managed it. Like he had a lot of equipment with him. It's like that's too much hassle for me. That I do like a solo, but I'd say I am planning on doing a folk album. So maybe I could gear towards that. I shouldn't plan things until I've actually decided what I want to do, because that's my other thing I always do.
It's my issue there.
Yeah. I get excited and I just like...
Yeah. Get impatient.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm in the studio next week, James.
Ooh.
I get to finish my EP. I'm one song away from finishing it.
Is it which song you're doing?
Alone.
Alone. Is that a...
It's the big crowd favourite.
Oh, right.
It's the song that I play early on in my set. Yeah, you will.
Oh.
It's when I do my loop pedal. It's the big song.
Oh,
with like the 7 harmony falsetto on tops and then the big drum beat and the guitar behind my head, kind of like.
Yeah.
It's a song that it was meant to be on the first album, but
I was gonna say,
Missing It at Night took over it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because that's like I feel that was quite an older song.
Yeah, I wrote it for the first album, but it was similar chord progressions to Missing It at Night, except it's 2 keys lower. And I didn't want to put 2 similar chord progressions on the same album.
Yeah, that does make sense. Or if you're gonna do that, you've got to put them like at different points.
But I'm kind of glad I've got around a big production and make a big build up to it. But it should be on the EP for next year.
That's cool.
To answer the question on this one for me, I've already played the shop. It was great crack. I'm not planning any original gigs for the rest of the year. They're just happening.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to try and do 1 a month. That was my resolution. Turn into a UK tour.
Yeah, it did.
Then I went, you know what, I'm going to stop the original gigs and just work the behind the scenes so I'm ready for next year. Merch, albums, EPs, singles, get it all prepped. And I was like, right, so technically the 27th of May should be my last originals this year. I'm playing the Grove on...
I mean June.
May.
It's June now.
Yeah, I know. 27th of May should have been the last originals.
Or should have
gig.
been. I'm thinking...
And now I've got a gig on the 15th of June at the Grove. I think I'm about to headline a festival in July.
I think we're going to try and come to that one, actually.
Which on the Grove?
Yeah, I've got a weird Thursday off.
Oh, lovely.
So we're going to... Kat wants to watch The Little Mermaid. I might try and do that in the afternoon, because like the kids are in school and stuff, aren't they? So it's
best time to go.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, we might pop down to that.
Yeah, bring the podcast. So yeah, I keep planning to not gig, and then I think I'm headlining a festival in July. I've just got to call the guy about it tomorrow.
Which festival's that?
It is. Hold on.
Oh, is that the Beyond?
No. I was meant to be doing that, but they had to change the date, and I'm not available for the new date.
Oh, I see. Never mind.
The KJF Concert Festival.
Oh.
I was available to do the early slot on the 9th, which is the Sunday, I believe, and then my gig on the 8th got cancelled. I was like, oh look, if you need anything on the Saturday.
So they just...
And they went, yeah, we might get you in a headline. I was like, cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I've headlined, well, I've done a gig and concert before. Well, I've done plenty. But I've done a festival and concert before. It was called Steel Town. And it was just after I got into the loop pedal. And I went on as an early act, and the response I was getting back from people was, "Oh, you should have been on a bit later on." I was like, "Oh, that's nice." I've only just got into the loop pedal. I went back the year after, and it was a bigger event. They had 2 tents on. There was the big tent with bands and the small acoustic tent just outside. And I got booked in to do the acoustic tent.
Oh, I think you should have been the...
Well, I went to the acoustic tent and I assumed we were going to play while the bands were swapping over.
But it's the same time. Oh, yeah.
It was competition.
Yeah.
Which I felt really bad because I got there and Sam Shields was there first and he had about 6 people at his tent. And there was about 100 people in the big tent, and I was like,
because it's not just the size of the bigger tent. It's the noise. It's the noise as well.
Yeah.
Trying to compete with that's poorly run that.
So I was a bit skeptical of how mine was going to go, but I went, screw it, loop pedal, try some new songs. I was on whilst another band was on, and I managed to drag about 50 people from that tent over to my tent.
Oh, well, that's
and I got asked to headline the year after, but then the festival didn't take place the year after. I was like,
Same with festivals, it's touch
but
and go whether they go again.
I've got a good reputation in the concert festival scene, so this could go down well.
Yeah. Cool.
So yeah, that's my next one, potentially. Jack Milcrease asked, if you could be friends with a fictional character, who would it be?
Ooh, fictional.
Did we answer these as well last week?
No, I don't think we did, and I had really good answers for them.
I said Joey from Friends.
Oh, did you? Oh, I don't know if I can't remember what I put.
But I'll go for someone else. Who else would it be? Friends with a fictional character.
Oh, I think we might have answered it because I was thinking like you just want like a regular.
I mean, Dobby from Harry Potter was like top lad.
I didn't like Dobby.
You clearly didn't watch the 7th film.
I was.
You really enjoyed the 7th film.
Yeah. I'm glad he died.
Says no whatever. Not many fictional characters still have a memorial grave where you go down and put socks.
I know that is. I'm sure they've cleaned that up now though, because we've got two.
Doesn't matter. People will still come back down and do it again.
They'll still do it.
Dobby was good.
Dobby is a free elf.
Shut up, Dobby.
I've just restarted playing Hogwarts Legacy again. Except I've done kind of what you did this time. You know how you took the map off?
Oh, yeah.
I've took everything off the screen. So I've got no spell counters. I've got no health bar. I've just got screen.
Because you
and I put it on the hardest level I could.
Yeah.
And it's a pain because I'm trying to take on the spider who's just like, now you're dead. I'm like, oh, fuck's sake. So I'm in a bit of a Harry Potter mode at the minute.
It's a good...
Watched Prison of Azkaban on Netflix the other day.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they're back on Netflix, aren't they?
Damn right.
I still haven't seen the last Fantastic Beasts.
That was quite good. Bit of a shame that they got rid of Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
Needlessly. The guy was...
Justice for Johnny.
Yeah.
But
he was a good actor as well.
Yeah.
For that part.
Who would my... You know what? I wouldn't mind... You know what? I'd love... I don't know. It would be someone. It would be someone from Lord of the Rings, to be honest. Right. And my mind's kind of gauging.
I know 3 names from there.
Like specifically, I don't even think he's in the books, but he's in the films where he's just like pissed off at everything. He's like a really like angry neighbor. No, he just sweeps up and he just like a really like whenever like people pass, like it's like a miserable old bastard. And I was like, I wouldn't mind being friends with him. Just complain about everything, because my first choice would be like kind of Merry or Pippin, but I reckon they'd get really annoying really quickly because they're just like troublemakers. And you're like, oh well, lads, can we just sit down and have a pint? Like, no, there's some fireworks over there, let's go. It's like, for fuck's sake, man. Like,
never seen Lord of the Rings.
You should watch Lord of the Rings, honestly.
Ashley tells me to do it all the time. I don't listen to her.
You have to sit down and just watch Lord of the Rings, honestly, it's so good.
One day.
Yeah.
Jeff Mull asks, what's your favourite venue you've played in the Northeast and why?
Favourite venue I've played in the Northeast?
I'm going to count this as originals only.
Yeah.
I've got a personal love towards Little Buildings. It was my first sellout. It was a good night. It was a really good night, actually.
I like playing Little Buildings.
Little Buildings was good. Surf Cafe was alright, to be fair. I've enjoyed playing the Clooney one every time I've played it. Although I find it weird that there's a pit.
Yeah.
You got stage, and you've got crowd, and then you've got bar.
Yeah, I like the Clooney 2. I think I prefer the Clooney 2 over Clooney 1.
Yeah.
Don't know what other venues I've played.
You played the Vaux Brewery in the northeast.
Yeah, the Vaux Rooms, which is very good. I liked Independent.
No, not done independent yet. Bunker was canny.
I like the Bunker. The O2 Academy upstairs.
Oh, little show off.
Right,
right in the back pocket there. I haven't played many northeast, but yeah, Stadium Light. That was good one. That the centre circle.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've actually played Stadium Light, just not an originals. Yeah, that was alright, but a lot of them are like, I don't know. I quite, you know, I've got a soft spot for for the ISIS. To be fair, like that was the first ever gig I've ever played, was downstairs in the ISIS, but it was like it wasn't refurbished like this.
Yeah.
It was like they didn't have like the beer selection. It was just a very like dingy little pub that didn't really put on bands or anything, but we just happened to play there. It was actually at the back, believe it or not. There was a stage. There wasn't like toilets or anything. It was like a stage. The stage was at the back. I don't even know if the bar was there. I don't know where the hell I got the bar from. That's might be false memory. I was like 18 years old when I played it. Like so. But yeah, I like upstairs, like the Vaux room, where Off the Stage Fest was a huge success.
We hope.
Yeah.
Steve Pledger said, if you could support one artist, past or present, that fits you best. That's my bad typing. Who would you support / double headline? I don't agree with double headlines.
I like a good double headline.
I think whoever is on last is the headline.
Yeah, technically but
I don't agree with double headline.
There's a lot of bands like, because I've got tickets to see Less Than Jake and Bowling for Soup, and they're
Who's
both
on last?
I don't know.
That sounds like a great event. But if Bowling for Soup go on last, you went to Bowling for Soup's gig.
Yeah, probably.
That's how I would see that.
But Less Than Jake did the same with their Real Big Fish, and Less Than Jake came on last.
Slamming down.
Yeah. But there's a lot of bands do it now, just because it's an extra selling point. Alkaline Trio did it with Taking Back Sunday. Although Alkaline Trio played last, so it's technically an Alkaline Trio gig.
Exactly.
But Kat went to see Taking Back Sunday. I wanted to see Alkaline Trio, so it was like
She waited for you in the car.
Yeah.
Till you were done. But in my defence, I don't like sharing the stage, so that's why I've got loop pedal.
Yeah.
I'd like to support Ed Sheeran, but I think we might be too similar in the sense of you get two loop pedalers in, whereas the loop pedal is quite a good event when you'd not experienced it. There's a lot of people that still see me play and go, what the fuck's that? It's like, this loop pedals have been around long before Ed Sheeran, but the guy made them massively famous, and I'm surprised that people are still a bit like, what's this? I don't know.
I'd love to support Creedence Clearwater Revival. I think
to support Ollie Murs.
Yeah, Ollie Murs. I bet he puts on a good show.
Does. Seen it 6 times.
Yeah, that way. Same show, was different tours. Followed him around the country to each.
Every time he brings out a new album. The only one I didn't see was his very first one.
That way.
So everything else. So the latest one he's done this year, really good. So big up Ollie. I know you're watching the pod. We'll get you back on soon.
Yeah.
And then Dan asks, if you could play a venue in the world, which would be your first priority?
A venue in the world.
I'm dying to play Temple Bar. Can't stress enough.
I wouldn't mind playing
I
Temple Bar.
I think we could nail that as a duo. We'll
You
just
know
fire
what?
Dublin and go, look,
we'd absolutely nail that.
get
like.
it in there.
If you watch some of our reels from our highlights
Yeah.
from the points.
So Temple Bar, get us in. Just get us a couple of... You know what the issue is? I tried to get into Temple Bar, and because I'm not VAT registered, wasn't allowed to be employed by them. So if you can scrounge up a couple of pints, we'll sort out the flights and we'll do Temple Bar.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
Tagging Temple Bar here.
Yeah. Well, you play Temple Bar just for the sake say that you've played Temple Bar. Just a few free pints. Easy.
Absolutely. Originals wise, if I could ever get the heights of playing Villa Park, that would be fantastic. But realistically, I've been looking at Think Tank in Newcastle.
Yeah.
I might be looking at something like that for next year.
Think Tank's a good venue. Been there a couple of times.
I've supported Old Sea Brigade once, and I've saw Tall Shaves do that gig.
Yeah.
Very great little venue. Very convenient area as well. Centre of life kind of thing. So realistically, I think Think Tank's on my to aim for list.
Yeah.
And then NX in Newcastle.
Yeah, that's the boyo in it, but to sell a lot of tickets for this.
Oh, I mean, I could hire it out, but it would be a very empty room.
Yeah.
How we all doing? Just you in the corner. Yeah, play home. Yeah. Got an hour and a half to wait, James. Oh, I'll be back.
Yeah.
I'll be back in an hour and 25.
I wonder what the beer selection's like in there now, because obviously when it was like
I've never been in since it reopened.
Yeah, because the O2 Academy was just, it had Carlin and that was it. It was shite.
Yeah. We hope it's changed.
Yeah, kind of hope it's changed, but who knows? I don't know what my venue would be actually. I always have the like obviously because the band is slightly different to my solo stuff. Solo stuff's a bit more trying to make it a bit more folky. The band stuff's a bit more upbeat, rocky. But I'd love to have just like a really quiet venue with like nice seats and stuff where everyone sit down. Prohibition Bar, is that what's that like? Is that that sounds like one of those
Prohibition Cabaret Bar.
cabaret bar, yeah.
So I've seen Jack Milcrease upstairs and I've played a stage downstairs. Downstairs, it's a nice little setting. It's not the best angled in terms of being on that stage because you can kind of see that, but you don't get to see that section. There is an upstairs bit with, I don't think it was a stage. I think Jack had to it's like a function room that he set up, but it was very nicely decorated. But I think they're always looking for like new events to do. They want to help push the local scene. I did a gig for them once and it was like, it was 50 quid for the 245s or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Plus there was a tip jar.
Right. So
you were able to do your tip jar kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that really did make up for it, to be fair, because the people were quite generous.
Yeah. No, I'd love to. But people like sitting down with like the cocktails and stuff like that, and they're just enjoying life, just listening to some nice chilled out music. That's my headspace.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah,
mint. Well, do you want to call that part 2, and then we'll come back to part 3 with just Ask James or so?
Yeah, we'll do some stuff like that.
Yeah,
we'll see you in a bit. It was the fastest I've done that actually. Just
nailed it. You press buttons.
Getting
What a guy.
Quite loud that.
Hope we don't get copyrighted.
Just the two of us.
We can make it if we try. Just the two of us.
Just the two of us.
It's like the. Anyway, shall
Welcome
we?
back. Part 3.
We're back, baby! It's alright!
Thanks, Kieran. It is all right.
It is.
I hope the new song's going well.
Yes, I do. Yeah,
Drop us a comment. Let us know how it's going.
yeah.
He's a very active lad, Kieran.
He does a lot. Yeah,
He does. I meant in terms of whenever we post a post and he's enjoying it, he does drop a comment.
yeah.
Be like Kieran.
Yeah,
If you're enjoying this, drop a comment. Let us know what you're thinking.
Absolutely.
Any suggestions? You want to tell us to fuck off? Do that too.
don't do that. But like, okay, if it adds to
Brings
the
up the
algorithm.
algorithm.
Yeah,
It's all about the
algorithm. That's the mayonnaise.
Part 3 is basically upcoming shows, songs, recommended artists, and social medias. We kind of cover that a lot throughout
We do. Yeah.
our era on this podcast. So let's mix it up a bit and put. Hold on, have we got any Instagram questions? That's something I should be checking in the break that I didn't check. It's Philip Coutinho's birthday today. Happy birthday, Phil. Hope you have a good one. It was obviously 2 weeks ago. We haven't had any questions.
No, that's fine. That's okay.
So, let's go to some Just Ask Jameses. I think we should get some jingles for these. Just Ask James.
Yeah. Just Ask James. Just Ask James. We could change, like, was it Just Ask James? Because we're kind of like, we're trying to solve people's problems and stuff like that. It'd be like Jim will fix it or something. It's already been taken.
I mean, they seem quite eager to give it back at this point.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people holding on to that one.
No.
Oh.
Anyway.
I really hope HMV enjoy our podcast.
Yeah. I know. Like, these will never get played again in HMV. I'm sure they'll see the funny side.
Oh, of course.
This isn't actually r/musicians. It's quite a fun one. Well, it's not really a fun one, but you might be able to actually have a good answer to this one.
Okay.
It's by r/AskUK, so it's not a musicy one.
Right.
But I just thought, so it's by ex Blue Velvet user.
Ooh.
And the question is, what went wrong with Birmingham?
The football team or the city?
The city.
Okay.
So he says, I just realised, because like you're from Birmingham. Do you know it's a place I've always wanted to go?
My dad's from Birmingham.
Yeah.
I'm from No Shields.
Because it's one of those, like, it's like a major city, isn't it? And it's just like,
It's the second biggest city in the UK.
yeah. But anyway, this guy says, I'm a German, study abroad, and I've been living in Birmingham for almost a year now. I've been speaking to people about this, but something about Birmingham is just off. A lot of them agree. I can't really explain what it is, though. All I can say is that the vibe is off, especially the city centre is ugly and uninviting. It's a big city, but not much to do. Going to the city centre in any other city is exciting and fun, but going to the city centre in Birmingham is just depressing. It's definitely the city itself, but also the people. I mean, this is like, you can't really say that. However, I'm wondering what exactly it is that makes Birmingham so unattractive. How did Birmingham go downhill? What did they do wrong? What should be done differently? How could they possibly improve the city centre? I'd really appreciate an answer from someone who knows a lot about British cities, especially Birmingham. I feel like Birmingham and the analysis of it could be used as a negative example to prevent other cities from this fate. It's like, that is crushing. I mean, I don't believe for 1 second that Birmingham is like that. Whenever I think of Birmingham, though, like, I don't get like a, I don't know. I say I've never been. That's the thing. So what's your opinions on Birmingham? Because it seems to me like anything that's like a big city with a lot of people, a lot going on, surely has to have some positives, especially if it's just Cadbury's bloody thing.
I understand his predicament.
Yeah.
Okay. So Birmingham does get a lot of stick, sadly. They get a lot from my brother, who will gladly tell you that there's just something wrong with the accent. I don't think it's the greatest accent.
It's alright.
I don't think it's the worst accent, but at this moment in time, no offense Birmingham, I can't think of a worse one top of my head. So Birmingham itself, I'm going to show you a bit on the map here, just so that you kind of get a rough idea of
It's Midlands.
of the problems. Yeah. So Birmingham has this really weird thing of, this is the town centre here.
Yeah.
And it's not actually as bad as people make it out to be.
No, I was gonna say,
yeah, the Bullring Shopping Centre is fantastic. It's like Eldon Square times 6.
Because there is always a lot of stick specifically about Birmingham, and I don't believe people when they say it.
Oh, it's brilliant. So my dad lives over here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Okay.
And what I do is I go busking in Birmingham when I go down to Birmingham.
Yeah.
Go down
Makes
there.
sense. Yeah.
And to do that, they've got the car pollution thing in, so I can't drive into Birmingham, plus I don't want to park there. So I get the bus.
Yeah.
Now this is what happens, is I'll get the bus from my dad's, we'll drive past the best part of the Midlands, which is called Villa Park. And then we start driving, obviously, towards Birmingham.
Yeah.
Now, once you're in the town centre, it's not that bad. It could be done with some improvements. Everything outside of here, very questionable.
Well, that's Manchester. Like Manchester's
There's
like
a lot
that.
of cities.
Yeah.
You can't get to Newcastle town centre without going through Byker.
Yeah.
No offence, but you can't. So it's a weird one because Birmingham's really large. Like if you go to Newcastle, you've got the Quayside, you've got Northumberland Street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
In Birmingham, you've got like a Northumberland Street, 5 different places. It's massive.
Yeah.
And I think it could be done a bit.
The planning of it could be a little more accessible.
It's not too bad. There's always construction work somewhere, which is a bit of a downside. I used to busk right next to the bull ring, but I got told that they've now got housing or something right near it, so I've had to move a bit further down to where the Odeon is.
Aye.
And for people who've not been to Birmingham, the distance from the Odeon to the bull ring is probably about 100 metres. It's not that far.
Yeah.
Just wheel my trolley down the road. But if somebody put a blindfold on you and moved you around for an hour in a car and then put you on next to where the Odeon is, you would not believe it was down the road.
Really?
Anything next to the bull ring, you think, this looks fancy. And then the second you walk down that road, you're like, well, that's run down. That needs redoing up. That's closed. That's not great. And it's like...
pretty problem.
In fact, do you know the worst issue I've had with Birmingham of recent, and this is to people who planned this. I went to my first gay pride accidentally, but it was fantastic.
Oh yeah,
it was great. It was a great atmosphere. There was buses coming past. Everybody was dancing. It was lovely. My issue was I was here, and they were all driving the buses around here, and I had to gig at HMV Birmingham, which was here. Yeah, and there was no way to cross that road unless I walked 1.5 miles that way to find a crossing to walk all the way back this way. And I think planning wise, you could have done with a couple of breaks every 10 minutes to say, right guys, cross the road now. That would have been great. The event was lovely, but to cross the road, that was a nightmare.
Need some green lights, red lights, or rainbow lights. Yeah, could have been creative.
Yeah. So it gets its stick. It could be done up a bit more. It's not the worst place. I've seen worse cities. I'm not going to name them. But 100% the best part of Birmingham is Villa Park.
Honestly, well, because I mean, I like... One of the reasons I like Newcastle, to be honest, is because it's not...
That's where I sit there.
Oh, sweet.
And that's where I might be gigging soon as well.
Ooh, very good.
Got me on the little fan zone section. So if there's any Villa fans that go to Villa Park, if we've got any Birmingham listeners here, keep an eye at the fan zone. Conor Michael here. I might be playing there at some point next season.
Sweet.
Hopefully.
Because, I mean, it's one reason like Newcastle is because it's not too big. It's not too big. You can't get lost, but it's not too small that there's not.
It's probably one of the smallest cities.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you know how you can measure how big a city is? Do you have a tram?
That's a good point. Yeah.
So I know every time we went to Manchester,
tram system.
We went to Birmingham, tram system. I'm like, all right, so.
Prague.
Don't think London's got a tram system, but they've got an underground system.
They've got an underground, which is the same kind of thing. Yeah.
So let us know. Can you think of any big cities that have that don't have a tram?
Yeah, because like I say, it's one place I've always wanted to go, and this specific question just piqued my interest because I know you go to Birmingham, so I thought I'd ask you. And I've got a reply here. The Gerald of Trivia says, I don't agree with the premise of the question. Birmingham has had a lot of rejuvenation in the last few years, and the city centre is really nice now. The Commonwealth Games really showed how alive and vibrant the city is. I don't live there, but I do visit a few times a year. It used to be a real dump. It's one of my favourite UK cities now. Are you talking about the area surrounding Birmingham or the city centre itself? So he knows. Over someone called Astonishingly Villa says, going through OP's comments, history seems she's a tad racist and homophobic.
Excuse me.
So she's probably looking at the multicultural side of things, maybe. The thing, but
it's not an issue.
I'm one person, well, you know what I'm like with people knocking cities and stuff like that. I'm very much against it. So so go visit Birmingham, so that's me jest actually.
Yeah, it's not that bad, to be fair. I had a point I was going to make just a second ago and I've completely lost it. What was it? I don't know. There's more canals in Birmingham than Venice.
Really? It's like Birmingham, the Venice of England. It's like rebranding itself.
That's what it is, yeah.
Visit Birmingham. The Venice of England.
That's my point. If you're going to visit Birmingham, 100% recommend doing it between the months of October and January. Because what they do is they have Oktoberfest.
Ooh,
Now imagine,
really?
imagine Northumberland Street had a German market from the top of Northumberland Street to the bottom of Northumberland Street.
And it's like specific beer as well, because it's
Yeah, it's
October.
German.
But
But imagine there's more than one Northumberland Street
and there's loads of them.
because it's a bigger city.
God, you know what? You just
Now,
sold it to us.
Hold on. Now imagine that you don't just have to stay in your Northumberland Street section with your pint, and you could just walk across the city as long as you're within the German market section.
That is clever.
You basically just have a pint of refill, have a pint of refill.
Hey, well, that's it.
Basically, we went down to Birmingham a few years, just the year before the pandemic, and we went to the Aston Villa Newcastle United football game.
Yes.
And myself and Johnny were down there, and we went to pick Scott up. He got a last minute train, got a last minute ticket.
Cool.
And it was around November, so the German market was on. We picked Scott up. He went and put his stuff in a hotel, and we were like, said to our dad, said, right, we'll come back to yours. We'll do some pre-drinks, then we'll go to Villa Park. So give her an hour. We'll meet you there. We'll go to Villa Park in 3 hours, kind of thing. 3 hours later, I get a message off my dad going, "Are you coming to the game?" And we were 7 double pints in at this point. Going, oh, yeah, that's a good point, guys. It's very easy to get lost in, but it's got everything you want. They've got pizza stores and bratwursts and beer.
You know what? You've just sold it because we want to
go.
We want to go to like Oktoberfest in Munich, which is like the Oktoberfest, but it's just price.
I've got to advise the best place to go for Oktoberfest is the small towns in Germany.
Yeah,
Don't go to the mainstream ones, and
Yeah.
they appreciate it more.
yeah, I'd probably believe that actually
But
as well.
if you want to stay in the UK, go to Birmingham.
Birmingham.
Oh, because it becomes Oktoberfest into the Christmas market, and it's still just...
So summertime, Birmingham is the Venice of England. And
Yeah.
then it's the Munich of England come October.
That's right. And yeah, and hopefully we can stay forwards, go into Venice and Munich, talking about Aston Villa's European tour.
Yes.
Because we're officially...
You've done well, didn't you?
Don't want to talk too much about football
No,
because that
no.
did not go down
No,
well.
absolutely.
I think it went down like a lead balloon.
Yes,
a
it
few
did.
episodes ago that we did that. Go check that out though. It's really funny.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that was a good question.
Yeah, I thought that's probably more. It's one of the most in-depth Just Ask James we've had.
So going back to music,
Yeah,
and we were speaking
of
about
course,
cities. Yourself, James, if you could pick one city, excluding the Northeast, to get a good fan base that you'd be like, I go back there anytime and I'll sell tickets, where would you like that city to be?
Glasgow.
Glasgow.
I think Glasgow. I reckon Glasgow's got it's got quite a strong music
Doesn't matter about
identity
that.
about
You just have to
itself.
have a city you want to gig at, and that you'll have the fans because they're like, I fucking love James Berry.
Yeah, probably.
I'd love to go to Nottingham. I went
Nottingham,
there once
yeah.
before, and it was like a cheaper version of Edinburgh. It was a lovely place.
I've been to Nottingham. It's really nice. It's this is a big square. They got lots of little bars and stuff. Glasgow was great because it had you had loads of little tiny little music venues and a lot of them were like you had to go down the steps that used to be like they used to be like flats back in the day, but they've been renovated to be music venues. But it was great. I'd recommend. There's another place. We talked a lot about cities this podcast, haven't we?
Yeah, cities and I can't remember what else. What else we talked about?
With the venues and
I'm just thinking of a good podcast name. Cities and venues doesn't sound great.
no.
Oh well.
Missing guests.
Yeah. So just going back into the music then, have you got any original shows coming up as of the 27th of June onward?
Possibly. I might have the 30th of June at Garden Lane in South Shields. I need to triple check because Rich told us ages ago, keep that date in mind. And I was like, is this going ahead? He said, ask...
Close at the time.
But not ask Right Music Management, Sam Wright. Ask him about it, and then he says, "Oh well, if Rich has booked you in, then it's solid." forgot to ask which again. So it's possible I'm playing there. That's it. Actually, that's all I've got so far. See, I'm wanting to put on a few solo shows, just in like quiet 10 capacity room kind of like very very subtle, very low end. I'm wanting to do a thing I'll just call it like folk by the fireplace or something like that, where it's like in the pub and there's like a fireplace background and it's just really warm and chilled and cool and stuff like that. But nothing like that's I've not put any dates yet. You haven't planned in, but that is the plan, to put something like that. And again, just invite friends over, really.
Yeah.
Just try something different.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. What about yourself? Have you got? I think sure you mentioned it before, actually.
So as of the 27th, this Sunday, the 2nd of July, I'm at Costello.
Oh yeah.
Playing on a bus, I think.
Yeah.
I'm just going through my thing. Potentially on the 8th, I could be headlining KJF Festival. Definitely am on the 9th, and I had setting that off in the morning. I think that's all the originals I've got in so far, potentially. I'm going to Leeds. No, I'm not. That's fine. Definitely, I'm going to Leeds at some point soon, though. Sorry, I'm admiring my calendar. You know when you just start putting things in, you're like, oh yeah, I'm off there. What's this? Yeah, cool.
I don't know what I'll do.
I'm off to see Twister in July.
Yeah.
Very excited.
Where were they playing?
There's a band called Fallen State.
The Fallen State.
And they're headlining in the Clooney one, and Twister or support act.
Supporting. So
I was like, it's a Tuesday. I'm gonna go down.
And it's like, yeah, it's a.
So I got my tickets for that.
It's cool.
Yeah. And in terms of like releases for myself, I've got nothing else to release this year. I was gonna do a live album. That's not gonna happen anymore. Sorry, guys. I know everybody was devastated.
It's either my fault or it's whoever recorded it or it's ditto.
And to be fair, the reality of it is if you want a live album, go to the gigs. There will be plenty next year.
Yeah.
But tickets aren't expensive.
Next time you do a gig and you really like it, I'll record it myself and then I'll know for sure the quality of it.
Yes.
I'll record it in full.
You're going to save it this time?
Yes, I'll save it. 24-bit WAV quality.
The Live at Surf Cafe edition should be on its way whenever James retrieves the unsaved files.
Yeah.
I'm just not allowed a live album, to be fair. That's fine. But yeah, other than that, releases, I've got nothing else to release. I think my next single's coming out in February. But again, that's next year. I'll plan it when it's done. It still needs to be mixed and mastered.
I've got a few releases. I've got, well, if Ditto will allow it, I've got a live album, Live at the Bunker.
Oh.
And then I'm also planning on releasing the Pencil song. Yes, I'm gonna do it. I'm getting John who.
Please tell me you're getting merchandise pencils.
Yes.
That's the face of I am now.
I'm planning on it. However, I'm trying to find like the best way to go about it, because I want to make it. I don't want to just have it like James Berry pencils. I want to have like some funny thing on it.
Yeah, it should be Chelsea Jackson stole this pencil.
Yeah.
Right, and that should be in like a blue pencil with like gold writing on it or something like that. Chelsea Jackson stole this pencil.
Property of James.
Yeah, something like that.
Do not steal Chelsea.
Well, that's a fantastic idea, because you can do like James Berry best ever folk rock band out of full wall notebooks.
Yeah, that's it.
The collection
yeah,
kind of thing.
honestly, it's full brand in there. But yeah, I'm like, he doesn't know it yet, but I'm getting John to to mix it. Who did the Espresso Martini song?
Sounds fantastic.
So yeah, so expect that in. I don't know, but that's probably going to be more Christmas time. Then what I've also planned on doing is just a very, very basic folk album with really slow, shitty, sloppy songs.
Mint.
Which,
I like it.
Yeah.
Once I've finished my EP, I'm going to need to hire your services of videography.
Yes.
We've got 4 music videos to make.
Okay, nice.
I have no idea what I'm doing with them.
Nice. I don't either. I just press play and hope for the best.
Yeah, but like in terms of what to make the content of.
Oh, nice. We can brainstorm.
So just finally, because this is the new section that we're adding in, recommended local artist shout out. Is there anybody that we've not mentioned before you want to give a little holler out?
Am I allowed to be biased?
Ish. Don't just be like, oh well, James Berry's good to watch, you know.
Well, I was because I'm in Shannon's band at the moment, and she's bringing out a new album and stuff like that, and it's really good. Like the new stuff she's doing. I mean, the old stuff was good as well, but the new stuff's like really like top quality. And the reason I'm thinking I'm biased is because like I play guitar on it. But the reason I'm in the band is because I really like the music. Like I'm generally like a big fan.
Well, that works, to be fair.
Yeah.
In terms of shout outs for me, I want to drop at drummer_Meg a shout out. Meg Skane, fantastic singer songwriter. She supported me at Soca Live in Birmingham.
Oh, cool.
Got some great responses, so go check her out. I'm just going through my people I follow on Instagram. I tend to not follow people unless I've either worked with them or I'm working with them, or they're like music related.
I'm the opposite.
So
anyone follows me, I just click follow.
I don't tend to just follow friends and family kind of thing. So no offense, guys, if I'm not following you. Rich is texting me.
Oh, he's about posters.
Fair enough. Yes. So I'm gonna recommend at drummer_Meg, and I just want to put a final one in as well. I'm just getting his Instagram tag up. A guy called Harrison Rimmer, which is at Harrison Rimmer. Go check him out. Fantastic musician in York. He was meant to support me, but something came up last minute, and we did miss him. It was a great gig, though. York, I tell you what, it's my favourite gig of the tour, though.
You said.
Definitely get yourself down to that venue, James. It's amazing.
What's it called?
45 Vinyl Cafe.
45 Vinyl Cafe.
Check it out. Fantastic. I need to chase them up for videography, actually, because they got a few videos.
Oh, right. So
I might have a live at 45 Vinyl. Screw that, I might have a live album this year.
Yeah,
You never know.
yeah.
So many things have happened in the last month, I can't remember what I'm doing. So shout out to Meg Skane, shout out to Harrison Rimmer. You can find me on social media. I am at Conor_Michael_music. I might change that to something more simple one day. You are?
James Berry UK.
Yeah. Thank you for listening. Do follow us if you haven't already on our socials at Off the Stage UK, at Off the Stage 2 on Twitter. Every Monday we post a gig guide in partnership with Spark FM. Go check that out. We try and just let you know what's happening in the Northeast. Every Sunday we put song that was played.
Yeah, do we?
Do we not still?
Maybe.
What we used to do is at the end of an episode, someone would play a song, and then James would post pub table sessions on a Sunday.
Yeah, God.
The reason he's forgot about this is the fourth episode of that musician.
I'll tell you what I do. I post it on a Friday now.
Is it a Friday?
I have the weekend off.
I have clearly not been following.
Yeah.
Cool. Every Friday, get yourself to check out. Obviously, new episodes every Tuesday. Make sure you don't miss it. Like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Click the bell. Get yourself a notification. And yeah, comment anything you want to see. Send us a message to anything you think.
Yeah. Engage with us.
It's going to be good.
We're friendly.
We're doing the festival this Saturday. By the time this podcast comes out, it will have happened.
Yeah.
And if it's a success, we'll be doing it again next year.
Yes.
So, thank you very much, everyone, for listening. I hope you've enjoyed the pod.
We'll see you next week.
Oh, that was all right, that, to be fair. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Ollie Murs, and you've been listening to Off the Stage podcast. Make sure you tune in next time.